everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stassi. Thank you so much for being here today. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I have another Canadian simmer here, and I also just found out she's also from my hometown, and I had no idea. Anyways, I have the lovely Abby here, but you might know her as Alpha and Maxis on Instagram. So thank you, Abby, so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for coming. We just had a very lovely, 30-minute chat. I feel like you don't need a Sims guru. You need a Stassi guru.
Exactly.
Guru Stassi just gave you
please, life advice.
20 years of life advice of what it's like to go to university and the advice that I wasn't told. And the fact that you want to be a teacher is a fucking godsend, especially here. I commend you immensely. I mean, the reason my fiance doesn't use his teacher education because he's not prepared for parents to scream at you if you give the child a B. And that's the point, because it's always the teacher's fault, right?
Exactly, which I never understood. I think parents need to take a deep breath. Mm-hmm. Calm down. If anything, as a teacher, I would hate, but this is probably what's going to happen. I'm going to go up and be like, hey, have you thought about taking up meditation? You seem a little stressed. And they would be pissed off. They would get even more mad at me. And I'd be like, it's okay. Just breathe. It's fine. Maybe talk to your kid about it and not me. That's what they need to do.
I totally agree. They're always like, it's your fault. My kid's an angel. It's because of you. They haven't learned this. And you're like, no, your kid's a butthole, and I can't I can't do anything. But again, God sent for you wanting to be a teacher. I want to full out and say I think I was the worst student I could have possibly been. Looking back at it, I thought I was funny.
Yeah.
I was not.
That's usually how it works, though. All of the class clowns or whatever think they're the most hilarious people, and then they look back in years and they're like, why did I do that? Why was I like that? And I'm like, you're going to regret it. But it's a learning experience.
It is a learning experience. The high school I went to, so they used to have the best showers. And I love it. Don't get me wrong. I was very fit. I was a cheerleader. I liked to be, but I did not like gym class because you get gross and sweaty after. So I would literally say, if it was dodgeball, I'd be like, hit me. And they hit me and I'd be like, gone to the showers. That was literally my high school experience with gym. It was just I'm out. Or I would sleep in class and they would say come on, wake up. And I'd be like, I'm not asleep. I'm practicing. If I ever go blind one day, I have better listening. I always had a back response. The one time though, I was in high school, it was a Catholic school. It was grade 11. And anyone who knows me, I'm not very religious, but my parents thought, giving me a little God might save me. Joke's on them at that point, because it didn't. I was late to religion class. And so in grade 11, in the where I went, it was world religion. So you just learned a bunch of world religion, but we were learning the Catholic religion. So they had a nun show up. And she came in full outfit, and I was late. And I walk in and I'm like, I didn't know what to say, because I was always very late, because I always had to get the calf cookies. There's something about high school cafeteria calf cookies. I don't care what high school you went to. They're so good. That's the same cookie, no matter where you went. I was a 2 chocolate chip cookies and a chocolate milk girl every day. So this is, I had just actually, this is coming back to me. I had just finished my driver's ed. And I was just like, I'm late. I'm going to get myself 2 calf cookies and a chocolate milk for my religion class, because I got to do something. That's where I'm like, where did my money go in high school? 2 calf cookies and a chocolate milk.
Every day,
sometimes twice a day. The fact that I was not super heavily obese is mind baffling at that point, thinking back at this. So she was she looks and she's like, come sit down. And I don't know what to say. So my immediate thought was it's true. They actually do look like penguins. That was, I actually said that. And obviously I had a spot and the principal's office just prepared for, they just my dad knew the receptionist coffee order by the end of high school. Looking back on it, I definitely was a little shit. But I promise we'll actually get into fun facts. So we have a cat. So she's 3 years old, gonna be 4. So we call her our angsty teenager. right now because she's like a little angsty teenager. Yeah. So yesterday, because I was filming Simmer Spotlights, I'm very loud when I talk. So she was like, she came downstairs with like down the stairs, like
a sassy cat.
Yeah. And so she comes and sits on the couch and goes like, and like hides her ears because I'm being very loud. And I'm like, Cora, like, whatever, just be fine. So she goes, we're done. I'm done for the night. And she goes back upstairs. She runs upstairs and she like slams on something. And I'm like, that's how I know she's my fur daughter, because that used to be the classic me as a kid. If I was like, had gotten a fight with my parents, I'd run upstairs and slam the door. Yep. And then I'd reopen it and slam it again just to make sure they knew.
Yeah. Or stomp loudly up the steps.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I've done that.
Oh yeah. Now my parents are like, we're happy you like figured yourself out, because like you were a monster. Oh, and I'm like, I wasn't a monster. I was just 16 years old and I wanted freedom and you weren't giving it to me. They're like, you wanted to like travel the world by yourself. And I'm like, and I wanted to do those. But anyways, I feel like this has been like everything you need to know about Stassi's adolescent life.
This is the background story.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Because like, and now I'm just a clown that makes fart jokes and does this for fun. But anyways, Abby, I want to hear about you and your your Sims history.
Yeah, I'm going to start with Instagram because that's where I started off with. I think. I'm not going to kid you. Right before this interview, I was like, she's going to ask something about when I started and I'm going to have no idea what to say. I'm not going to know any date because I'm horrible with time. Like I'm always on time, but I never know what day it is half the time because it's just a blur right now. So I scrolled, I kid you not, all 300 plus of my posts, scrolled all the way down to the bottom. First time on Instagram, January 7th, 2021. And that was the very first post.
Dude, I'm the 11th of last year.
Look at us go.
I know. Who would have thought? Like we almost have the same Sims birthday.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. Well,
that's awesome. So it's been what, like a year now since we've been on Instagram?
Yeah, a year and 2 months.
Yeah, a year and 2 months-ish. But
it does not feel like it's been 14 months. I feel like I've been doing this for like 10 years.
But at the same time, like 1 month, you know?
We're going to agree to disagree on that one. I'm way too jaded now. I feel like I've been around.
I don't know. Sometimes it's really long. Sometimes I'm like, wait, did I just start last week? I don't know what's going on. Hey, that's okay. I feel like I'm due for like a controversial something at some point. Like I feel like everybody has like, I haven't had to have an apology video yet where like I actually don't apologize for what I did. I just acknowledge that I'm actually the victim. Stassi, that's how you know you made it, when you have to come up with an apology video. Honestly.
Oh my God. Like 5 years from now, I'll be like, guys, I think that my biggest apology video I'll ever have to make is when I first started getting big. Cause like I gained 1,000 followers pretty quickly. Like I had 1,000 followers under 2 months of doing this just cause I work social media marketing. So I know the right tips and tricks. So I got interviewed pretty early on and I was like, I'm never going to use CC. CC is bad.
Oh, and let's see how that worked out.
Yeah. 5 years later, I'm commending CC like all these videos like that. Like that will be the clip that like if I ever get big one day, they'll be like, Stassi started here in this video. I'll never use CC. And she was a liar.
Never say never.
Never. Yeah, I look back at that now. I'm like, oh.
Because you'll always get caught. If you say you're never going to do something, you probably will. And people will know that you said you wouldn't. And then they'll be like, oh, see, this is why you don't say that.
Right. That's why, honestly, I have privatized like my personal socials. Cause like, I'm not saying I've done bad things cause I have, but like, I don't want people knowing like the weird shit I said when Facebook was like a thing. Like I used to say I'm tired as like a status, but I'm so bad at spelling. I would just say I tried.
Honestly, though, that's a good status. That's relatable. You tried.
And everybody be like, what did you try? I'm like, to sleep better.
Oh God.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I have to ask you this because you're close to the same age as my niece, which makes me feel kind of old because we just had her birthday last week and Now she's driving, and I used to pick her up.
Yeah.
And so she's getting her mom's car, which is my stepsister's car. And even I drove that car. So it's literally like full circle of this car. So she's like, yeah. So like, Auntie Jenny, your wedding next year, can I like bring a date?
Ooh.
I'm like, no. The rule is you have to be with somebody for at least a year to bring a significant other. I'm sorry, they're not drinking.
But you don't want photos. You don't want photos of that person at your wedding. And then you're looking back and they had the worst relationship ever and you hate their guts. And you're like, why? Why did I do this?
I have the best story. So before I met my sweet baby angel fiance, who I could kiss because he's an actual genuine good man. I love him with all my heart. Before I met him, I dated this asshole. I mean, we all date assholes. Yeah, everybody does. So I was in the wedding party, but at this time I knew I was going to leave him. We were living together. It was a little harder. And I was also like 22.
Yeah. So you're like, just waiting for that perfect moment to bite the bullet.
Yeah. Like I had to get my ducks in a row because I lived there when my mail was there. I also needed to clean off some of my debt before I moved.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Because I needed to get a place and I needed to like update your credit score, all good things to be an adult. So I'm in the wedding family photos and I specifically said, I don't want to be in them. And they're like, come on, like you're part of the family. Cause we had been together at that point for 5 years. So I was really part of the family. We were both each other's high school sweethearts. And I knew it was not ending well because he also brought he brought both his girlfriends to the wedding. I was girlfriend number 1, girlfriend number 2 was there. So I was in the family photos. So at the end, so the sister still posts the family photo every year on that wedding, on her wedding anniversary. At this point, they've actually just caught me out. So anybody listening to this, if you're leaving a significant other, don't be in the family photo.
Just show up with like a sticky note on your forehead saying not photo ready.
Yeah.
Be like, sorry, I can't do it today. I'm not feeling the best. I don't look my best. Just leave me out of it.
Right. But actually, I have a question. This was a lead up to, family, especially me feeling old because you guys are so young. What has it been like for you to do Zoom education? I'm just really curious about this.
So in Canada, we actually never use Zoom.
Okay.
For our meetings. We only use Google Meet because all of the school board stuff is through Google. Okay. So we have Google Drive, Google Docs, Google Classroom, all of that. So I didn't mind it. Personally, I'm fine online because as a learner, I'm very independent. I would much rather the teacher post the lesson and I do it on my own because I find in class, I waste a lot of time like getting the teacher to explain it to other kids that may be a little bit slower in comprehending. And I'm just sitting there like, okay, when can I start the work? When can I get this done? I have stuff to do after school and I don't want to waste my time while I'm here. Yeah. So online for me was a lot better just managing time. I had more time to do stuff that I wanted in my free time, which is probably why I have so much.
I was gonna say your sound cut out. I didn't hear what you said.
Oh no, that's not good. Here, okay. I'll speak again.
Okay.
It was just a lot coming back from being online because online I had more time. Yeah. Because I could watch the lesson. If I understood it, I could just skip right to the homework, right to the assignment. Okay. I didn't have to rewatch it, which usually in class, you have to listen to them re-explain it in a different way or get them to help another student while you wait for them to help you. Whereas online, I could do it in my own time, which I found a lot more beneficial to me. So making that switch back, because now we are completely back in school. Yep. We have no online stuff anymore. And it's just a big switch, which I find a lot of people are struggling with. So now like I'm freaking out. I have to memorize a bunch of things. I'm handling my 4 classes, which I did in grade 9 and I did it. So I know I can do it. It's just having those 2 years of being online. It's really hard to switch back to that mentality. Yeah, I find. But honestly, I think I handled it better than most kids because I know a lot of people struggle with not being in a classroom. So I was thankful that I was able to handle it. If I wasn't, I feel like it would have been horrible and I would have been suffering just as much as everybody else.
Well, I want to say thank you for sharing that. It's something I've always wondered. And to be fair, to our education sector, it was really messy before COVID because there was ongoing teacher strikes.
Yeah.
That happened. And then COVID happened. And then it was online. And then they brought you back last year. Was it till Christmas? And then you stayed home after Christmas. And then like the whole cohort situation and like 2 days on, 3 days off, that was messy.
Yeah.
My heart goes out, especially to anybody, like a child doing that. It's really hard. I couldn't do it. I'm a person that needs to like be taught, like, this is like what you need to do.
Yeah.
I do think we're going to see a lot of kids kind of slip through the cracks throughout that. Like my nephew, he was in grade 7 when the teacher strikes happened. He's now in grade 9. So like, I feel like he wasn't prepared enough for high school with that social aspect.
Yeah.
My heart also goes out to kids that were first year university when COVID happened, because you've really missed the first couple years of what university truly is, which is not only just the learning sector of it, but the social aspect 100%. Of it as well. Like there were kids who just, you can't, like at Western, you could not leave your dorm room. That is really depressing. I mean, especially if you're not from London. And
that would be horrible.
And you can't leave. And then like, you don't know anybody, right? Like I could see why a lot of people like decided to take those gap years. I would encourage my child to take the same at that point, just to save money and be able to have that full experience. Like if you're going to Western, like it's a $50,000 bill at the end of it. Yeah. Like you want to be able to say you enjoyed it. Instead of just being like, oh, I rushed it. Right.
Yeah. And honestly, before COVID, I was thinking of doing a gap year because at that time I had no idea what I wanted to do. I didn't know that I wanted to get into kinesiology. And at that point, I didn't even know what kinesiology meant. I was like, this is a big word. What the hell does that even mean? And then I searched it up. I'm like, oh, that makes a lot of sense, which it's the study of human movement. So like physical activity, all that stuff, which a lot of people don't know. I say kinesiology and they're like, what? I'm like, don't worry. I was the same. I had no idea. But I found, honestly, though, I wouldn't wish to not have the pandemic because I feel like it's taught me a lot and I've become more secure with who I am, not just as a person, but like in every sector. I know how I am learning wise. I know what I need to be successful. I know what works for me. And I found hobbies and ultimately found what I wanted to do. So I think COVID helped a lot in that regard. I mean, it sucks not having these social aspects, not being able to have these certain opportunities, not being able to travel, all of that. And even like all the pandemic stuff with like just people getting sick and loved ones passing away. It's a lot. Yeah. And it's a struggle, but not to like be preachy or anything, but I feel like it happened for a reason. Like we kind of needed it to slow down and just really think about what we want out of life. And I'm not religious at all. So I'm just going to preface that. I just think you need to appreciate different moments in your life. And I think COVID helped us slow down and realize that because we were kind of go, go, go.
Yeah. I mean, like if you commute to Toronto every day, like you're go, go, go. Like I would say COVID sucked. Especially 100%. For a lot of people. I was very fortunate that I've not lost a family member to COVID. I think everyone in my family now has had it, besides my mom, which we're going to protect her. I'm very fortunate in that aspect, but like it has been financially struggling for me and my fiance. I have not made a full paycheck in almost 2 years. He lost a job at the very beginning of COVID, which had a really good salary, which would have helped a much better situation. He was unemployed for the first year of COVID, which really put a financial struggle on us. Not only that, it tested our relationship with our friends, especially for anybody who maybe didn't stand with our values. Yeah. We lost friends that way. We've had to move our wedding 3 times. It's been, and I'm not going to sit here and be like, here's the tiniest violin, because that's what it is. Like my heart goes out to our nursing friends who have literally don't want to do a job that they've always wanted to do because like they literally were watching people die every day. And like, that's not what they signed up for. Everybody's like, well, that's what you signed up for. Right.
But they didn't expect this.
But they didn't expect it. Right. And I think, I can't speak of all of Canada, but I feel like Ontario kind of really mismanaged a lot of the pandemic. Yeah. Obviously I'm not a big Ford supporter. I don't like what he's done. I don't think we're ready to remove the mask mandates. in 2 weeks, but this man really wants to get reelected. I think he just hopes that we all have short-term amnesia to forget,
Probably.
like, because like that's what he's doing. He's dropped the price of Go. We're funding the license plate stickers and stuff like that. He's giving nurses money. I want money back to our public sectors, such as education and healthcare. Like and he had cut all of those. I think the thing that killed me is, so at the beginning of this, minimum wage was going to be $15. He cut that, and then he just brought it back.
Yeah.
Like it's like he's literally doing all these election ploys.
It almost feels like a high schooler is running our country, because like even just province wide, like I don't mean to hate on anybody. Like there's goods and bads that everyone offers to the table, but at the same time, they're just as indecisive as we are.
Yes.
And we don't need that in a leader right now. We need someone who can make decisions, who can stick to them. And if they choose something wrong, they can admit it and they can change it and fix it. That's what we need.
Do you remember what Doug Ford ran on 4 years ago? His number one hit. Dollar beers. I'm serious. He had said, we're going to make alcohol cheaper. We're going to make dollar beers. And he did. There was a company for a small period of time back in 2017 that made dollar beers.
And that gets votes.
And that got votes. But that gets the bro votes. That gets like I like him. He was kind of like the Trump, right? Like very, very personable, very like, I like what he has to say. If he says any more in his press conferences, either A, he's like an hour late. B, if he says my fellow friends, my fellow Ontarians, I've tweeted him like, we are not friends. Like, we're not friends. Like, because like everything he's doing, I'm very NDP. Like I'm like, I dip my toes in socialism, like 100%. No matter what he does, could never sway my vote. But he's really trying. I'm going to say like really, really trying. But
and good for him for that. Honestly, good job for trying. But at some point, you need to realize that other people are offering better things than you, things that are more useful to society than dollar beers. Because we have a lot of issues. We have a lot of things we got to figure out, more so than getting people drunk and happy, honestly. So
I totally agree with you. I also feel like we should switch back to sim stuff.
Yes, we're going to get to a bit of a rant.
Oh my God, I can get a rant with this. And this is what I love about like this, no matter what age you are, you can sit and have your opinion. I'm like, I know when you're of age, I know you're probably going to go out and vote. Am I right to think that way? Yeah, right.
100%. Like I'm definitely younger and I don't know as much about politics as I probably should. Yeah. But I'm learning and I'm still taking into consideration anything. That's why I don't really bash people for who they choose. I more so bash the obliviousness of not knowing what you're supporting and not knowing the reasons why you're voting for that person, which I think as a younger person is something that I can bring and offer to the polls and to the elections, which I think more people that are older than me need to start considering. It's almost like they need to revert back to what they were first learning rather than being, oh, I voted for this person from the get-go. I'm never going to change my mind.
Oh, I totally agree with you. Any advice I can give you is something I do. I read everybody's policies. I watch the debates. I read the town halls. I read the newspapers. I do everything I can. So I'm an informed voter. I think when you go and vote, I think you should have to fill out like a multiple choice questionnaire to make sure you actually know who you are voting for and their policies, because I'm a big person. I don't care what they look like or what they do. I care about the policies. Not only do I care about the policies, I care if they actually follow through. Like I voted for Trudeau in the last election because I could not let Aaron O'Toole in because he was a monster. But I would rather have Jasmine Singh because I agree with his policies. Now everyone's like, he'll never be Prime Minister of Canada. Like, how dare you say that? I'm like, but his policies are great. And they're like, well, we don't care. We don't vote. Like, well, like that's the thing. The generation ahead of us hates NDP with so much of a passion that they'll never vote them in. But like, I feel like the Gen Zers and the millennials actually really like NDP because like they actually give a shit about mental health and they care about, the financial struggles of what it's like to be in your teens and 20s. Now, and it's hard, where conservatives are like, I'm here for the businessman, and liberals are like, I'm here for the blue collars, So like Like, I think you're right. Cause like the thing is so I'll go liberal, conservative, conservative, liberal, like they just pass the ball back.
Flip flops.
But it doesn't actually fix anything. Cause they're like, oh, well, that's what this person did. We're going to fix that. And they actually don't. And they're like, see, we couldn't fix it because if they did this.
Honestly, though, this whole rant is just showing why we're simmers, because I think if you are a simmer, you like to debate things.
Yes.
Because the Sims community is so torn with everything. Like we aren't like we love this game with all of our hearts. That's why it's our favorite. If you are a simmer, you hate the Sims. Like, period. That's how it is. If you don't hate the game that you love, you don't really love it.
That's
the truth.
I totally agree with you with that. Like I had a good talk yesterday. Like we love this game. We play it, but we want to see more inclusivity. We want to see different stuff. Like they're really playing it safe. I mean, this leads me to my next question about like, obviously we can't talk of anything Sims right now without talking about the dumpster fire of my wedding stories. From start to beginning. Like everyone was like, oh my God, this pack is so great. Yeah. This is amazing. And then what happened with Russia? And then like I stand with Russia, and now and
even the pack not working and all of the bug fixes that need to be done. Like I just think it's kind of pointless to release it if it's not ready. And I think it's just showing more and more how much of a money grab this is, and how much they don't really care what we want, which we know. They're a company. They want to make money. We're aware of that. But at the same time, you can't just release something and it's not ready in any regard. Like that's just pointless.
At this point, people bought it for the world. I'm going to say whoever created the world, 10 points to Gryffindor. Fantastic world. They did a really good job.
Yeah. I was surprised when there was a world, honestly.
I wasn't anymore because all the game packs are having worlds now. Mm-hmm. I feel like they've set this precedent. If a game pack comes out now without a world, I feel like
people will be mad.
Yeah, exactly. People are 100% going to be mad. And that's, again, like we can't appease everybody. Like I'm out here wanting like, proper skin tones for all POC simmers, and I want wheelchairs,
hairstyles. That's a big one.
I want hair. Yeah. I want to have actual, instead of just like the one pair of dreads or the one pair of braids or like the one afro, like I want to see more inclusivity.
And well done too. Not just like big chunky clay hair pieces. Like this is just a problem. Like I know they redid the afro for the Sims.
Yes.
Like I know I'm at no place to speak of it because I am not of that, like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Race?
Yeah, I'm not of that race. So I have no like way of saying this is how it needs to be done. Yeah. But looking from an outside lens, I can see why they're angry.
Yes.
I can see why it's unfair because they're kind of choosing sides on who gets the better hair and CC. And I know it's a video game. Mm-hmm. I know it's not like the biggest thing in the world, but it's a video game about life. Yeah. And if you can't offer everything that life does, how can you call it a life game?
Well, that's exactly it, right? We create ourselves in the Sims, so we're able to see ourselves. And the problem is you're having Sims who are, of different races are having a hard time creating themselves, where I feel like I can speak for this, that the Sims is very westernized. Mm-hmm. They have hundreds of like white girl hair, without a doubt. And I didn't really notice it. Because anytime I've ever made a Sim, I mean, she looks like me. And that's the only thing I would know.
Yeah.
And like, I would like to broaden my horizons.
Yeah.
With stuff like that. And the only way I feel like you can accurately do correctly if the right tools are there. Like a question I like to ask. So we know that there's going to be a new expansion pack coming out in either Q2 or Q3. I think from the tweet that came out this week from, because always someone leaks it. I think it's going to be generations. Because they're like, I can see wheelchairs and canes and stuff, which is great.
Yeah.
If you could create your perfect expansion pack with a world that would fit whatever you wanted, what would you do?
I don't even know. Like at this point, I wouldn't even want them to make another expansion pack. I'd rather them go back and improve the ones that we have.
Okay.
Because they're expensive. They're a lot of money for a video game. Like we've probably put hundreds and hundreds of dollars into the Sims as players.
Oh yeah.
And I think some of the worlds aren't worth it. And I'm just going to be upfront about it. I don't think they deserve the money for these like half done packs.
Yeah.
Like seasons. I think seasons should be a part of base game. And I know that's kind of like a controversy in The Sims where people are like, oh no, it offers a lot of stuff. It should be separate. It shouldn't be an expansion pack. Like, why can't we have seasons in base game? That's definitely a base game thing. Mm-hmm. Maybe not the calendar, but the weather. Like weather's base game. Come on.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. What pack besides seasons would you like to see refreshed?
I know Get Famous. A lot of people have been complaining about that one and it needs a refresh. So probably that one. I didn't get Famous till like a month ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was the last expansion pack I got. I had all of the other expansion packs. That was the last one because I didn't think I needed it. Then I got it and I was pleasantly surprised, honestly, because I've heard bad things about it, how it was the first expansion pack The Sims released. I was like, oh, that probably means it's not as good or it's not as well thought out as the other ones. But I thought it was pretty good. I haven't gotten into the gameplay because I'm not a gameplay simmer. Yeah. I'm more so building, cast, that type of stuff. So I don't have much to say about that. But I think they should definitely go back and stop making new things, at least for a little bit, and focus on it.
I agree. Like, I take a look at like Get to Work. Mm-hmm. Came out a long time ago. It doesn't feel like that should be an expansion pack. In today's standards, that feels like more of like a game pack or a stuff pack. Now, I will say the statement that I never thought I would say in my life. I miss stuff packs.
Oh, really?
I miss because kits. I'm so tired of seeing all these kits come out. Like, what are your thoughts about kits?
I personally don't like them. I'm not going to say hate because some of them are good.
Yeah.
But for the amount of content you're getting, as a PC player, I'd much rather go online, search up a custom content pack and download that.
Yep.
Like, why would I get 20-ish items for like $5 Canadian? Like, I can get it for free online.
I agree. Like, they're for console players, without a doubt, because they don't have the access to CC.
100%.
And then EA released this morning that they're going to release a decor pack, which I'm actually super excited about. I talked about it in the roundtable last week, where we're like, we just want pillows, blankets.
Yeah, please.
Right? Why are like we can set up like a person can walk on the moon, but we can't. We have to download CC pillows, like.
Yeah, we can have aliens and vampires and all of these supernatural things, but we cannot place a pillow on a couch.
Right? Nope. Or they come like the couches with pillows on it, but they just look so like junky looking. Yeah. Like it's just in the couch. Like it's not like standing on its own. It's just like in the I'm like, it's so gross. But
that's the other big thing. They need to hire CC creators because they're doing a lot better job than this company.
I agree. Now the thing I always worry about when they have like CC creators in the room, because we know that's happening. Mm-hmm. You know, they've been starting to bring through more CC creators to help with everything. I don't think they're getting paid. Like I think that's EA's thing. We'll put it in the game, but we're not going to give you any financial support with it, but we'll put your name there. We'll sponsor it like that. Yeah. But like if I was doing like work for Sims, I could never be a CC creator because I don't have the intelligence or time to contribute to that. I would want to be paid for my time because time is like my time is valuable. Yeah. And if you're taking my time and you're going to take credit that it was your idea, that's something I created like 5 years ago, and you're going to be like, look what I've done. Like, I think that's EA's new thing is just patting themselves on the back for being 5 years late to the party. Like they've just added pronouns in. Happy they're there. Should have been there already.
Should have been there when they first released the game, honestly.
I agree, right? And like there was like, well, they weren't like, no one was as woke back then. But pronouns were always very important. Yeah. Yeah. And then just continue to be important. And it's just like my head just like I shake my head once in a while. When I'm just like, what? Like something like the Sims stuff. Like I'm very disappointed with Q1. I mean, anything Sims does, like I'm disappointed by it because I have this expectation that like this was a game that I loved growing up. It's kind of like the Harry Potter franchise. Now, hear me out when I say this. I love Harry Potter, Slytherin through and through. I've gone back and rewatched like all the movies like recently. Not great. Not great. Especially the last couple. They're bad. But we remember loving it so much. And like that's the Sims. Like when you're a kid, like I know there's an age difference between us, but like when I was like 10, there was no social media. there was no like really cool game. Like this was like revolutionary. This was like the biggest shit. This is what you did on your Friday, Saturday nights. You did this and then you watched like Hannah Montana and like shit like that. Like that was like your like
simple times,
right? Like you had cell phones, but you only had like 90 minutes a month. Oh my God, you can't go past your minutes. Somebody told me that the other day. They're like, remember we had minutes? I was like, oh my God, I remember having minutes. That feels like a lifetime ago.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you ever had a cell phone that had like a specific amount of minutes?
Oh, I have that now.
My
cell phone plan is very, very low because I don't need to be on it. Like my data. Ooh, I don't even want to talk about that. It's bad. I get like a quarter of a gig. That's nothing. It lasts me 10 minutes. Yeah.
What? I have 8 and I think I only use 4.
Well, cell phone plans are so expensive.
Yes.
And I don't need it at this point because all the time there's Wi-Fi everywhere.
Yes.
Everywhere I go, there's Wi-Fi. So I don't know why I need to be paying that when I don't need to be on it.
Honestly, I use most of my data. So like we have a family car. But it's not my car, it's my fiance's car. I take public transportation. And I personally like it. I mean, you got the crazies on the bus. I mean, who doesn't have a crazy on the bus?
Hey, that gives you more of an interesting day.
Oh yeah. But I like to have that hour to myself. That's an hour of me being on Instagram or answering emails or reading or just something on the lines of that. But I use it to make sure like, I'm like, okay, so bus is here, what bus to take? Like I use it a lot for that. And that's a good reason to have it. Like my best friend has 50 gigs of data and she goes through all 50 a month. Cause she'll just sit and stream in bed. She's like, oh my God, my Wi-Fi shit, whatever. I'll just turn on LTE and go. Like we have unlimited Wi-Fi. I'm knocking on all the wood right now that like my internet hasn't cut out today.
Yeah. I think here in our new house, the Wi-Fi is only cut out once. And that was when it was so windy here in Ontario, like so windy. It just stopped. But I have other things to do. I'm a type of person, I have way too many hobbies and I'll admit it. Like too many that I can't even do them half the time. Like I'll do it once every year because I don't have the time for all of them. So if I don't have Wi-Fi, then I'll go read, I'll go work out, I'll go do something like paint or draw. Like I can keep myself occupied.
Yeah.
And I don't need or feel that need to be online all the time, which I think is something a lot of people, at least in this generation, need to work on.
Yes.
And I'm still working on it. Like, my screen time, I don't even want to get into that. I need to stop. I need to get off. But
see, like now on Instagram, I have it set on my phone that if I go past 2 hours, that's my day. Now I usually do go over that because I do work in social media. So it's a little harder, but like,
that makes sense.
My personal stuff though, like especially Sims, like I really try, like at the beginning of this, like my fiance's like, come on, like do something else. As I'm literally staring at a screen doing this. And then after this, I'm going to go watch TV and stare at a screen. And then I'll be on my phone. Like, I know my screen time is really high and my plan is I will get better. It's just, it's so hard because my whole life I grew up in front of a screen.
Yeah.
I had like when my dad worked from home, he threw me in front of the TV, watched this movie. And then computers. I always had a computer growing up, which is weird to say because they're like, of course you'd have a computer. But like my dad worked from home, so we had a computer. So like he would like, I'd play the same Scooby-Doo game. I could never get past the one level every time. And there was no save button. So like, because back then there were no saves. It was just you went till you went. And I still to this day, I don't know what this game is. I've tried to find it multiple times because I want to go back and see if I could actually beat the level and like understand what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
But it's different now because like my youngest niece got a cell phone when she was 6.
Ooh.
That's a little young, but like she has high anxiety. So it was kind of just more to be like, if you're having a minute, like call us.
Yeah.
Like I got
a flip phone.
Yeah.
You'll be good.
I got my first cell phone when I was 12. It was not I did have a Motorola Razr. There is something to be said about like flipping a phone close. I do miss that. But my phone, I think I could have 20 contacts in it. I think I had like a half an hour of minutes a day. And it was like, and it was just like $10 plans and stuff, right? Where now you have like with Rogers or Bell or TELUS or Fido or Freedom, like you're looking at like $100 bill for just a normal plan. And that's a lot of money. if you ask me, because then you have to get the internet as well. And then if you have cable.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. That's why I don't have this big plan.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I need it. And I feel like if I had it, then I would want more. That's the thing. Once you have something, you just want more of it.
Oh, that's
hard.
That's literally the Rogers motto.
Yeah. Like, and I didn't get a phone until grade 9. I mean, I had an iPod before, but like no cellular stuff, no texting, no calling, just like games. That's all I would do on my iPod. I would have games. I would like, as a kid, you would record like little YouTube videos and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to show my friends all these new toys I got. I'm going to do an unboxing, stuff like that. Because we were really influenced by it.
I was going to say that missed the mark for me. There, when I was on YouTube, it was like JonTron and other like Jenna Marbles. Like
I love her.
Like that was like original. Like my stepsister would be like, what do you watch on YouTube? I'm like, watch Mojo, and they're like, you're old. And now I still love watching Watch Mojo, and they're like, you're so old. I've never watched an unboxing video in my life. I'm very happy to continue to say that. No offense.
I didn't watch them actually. I'm just saying, like, as a generation, the more of the things that I did is every school project that we would have in school, I would film a video, every single one with my friends. I'd be like, hey, can I do a video option of this? And I kid you not, after every single video, we would put in bloopers. For a school project.
I mean, who doesn't do that though? Like,
it was hilarious.
When I was in high school is the first time we ever had a smart board.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know now, like every class has a smart board or very close to it. That was not a thing. You used to have to go. We used to have keyboard lessons, like typing lessons.
Yeah, we did too.
I was just sitting here and I remember it was the stupidest game. Okay, I have to ask this because, like, what were the computer games in school that you played? Like
Plumos Farm. Do you remember that one?
No, I never played that.
No.
What about
I think that was the big one.
What about Kid Pix?
Don't remember that.
Okay, after
I don't
this,
think we had it.
Kid Pix is like paint, but on like crack. It was so good. There was this cross country Canada game that you play, and it was a math game. So you were an LTL truck driver, and you would go from like Manitoba to BC, and you would try to figure out the mileage. There was that game. And then there was Typewrite, and it was this game, and it was the fucking worst game. And like, actually, I had to get graded on this. It was awful.
We did too. We had typing where we had to type like the sentence or the and why did I almost say numbers? The letters. Yes. We had to type the letters that showed up, and it would time you to see how fast you could do it. And you were marked on that.
Yes,
that was the most stressful thing of my life. I was like, now I can't even type properly. I literally just like move my hands across the keyboard. Really quickly.
I can do this now. I got really good because this is when texting became a thing. Mm-hmm. So it's like at the very beginning, like if you had a keyboard on your phone, you're a millionaire. So my dad gave me his old work phone and had a keyboard. So I used to do this, and I got really good at it because I could type on a God. And nothing was wrong. I could still do it to this day.
That's a skill I don't possess, and I don't think I ever will.
I'll be in work meetings. Like that. Just like, I know, as I'm like constantly like looking at, I can't do it now because it's weird. I'm like, when I go back and edit this, I'm going to be like, you look dumb. Like you just did it like 4 times.
You're just looking up at nothing. I'm like, hello, Stassi, are you zoning out?
Yeah. Hello. Are you there? I'd be like, yeah, I'm typing. But anyways, I feel like this has been like a very interesting, I really like this one. Like sometimes I feel like they're very cookie cutter. This has definitely not been a cookie cutter
we're going all over the place. And I like that. I feel like, especially with, I'm going to relate this back to streaming because that's what I have to relate to. But even on my streams, I always say this half the time, whenever I'm playing a game, half of my stream is talking. Yeah. Half of it is chatting with people about random topics. We'll go on tangents. We'll go on rants. We will be switching things. One time we'll be talking about fries. The next time we'll be talking about COVID. And I'm like, what's the relation between those? Then we'll be talking about favorite colors. And I'm like, I don't know what happened.
But see, that's good banter. That's literally how you can have good banter with somebody. And I feel like we have good banter. Now I got to ask you a couple questions and then I'm going to let you go. Yeah. Obviously I know you like CC. You didn't even have to tell me. I just know by your name. Yes. Have you always been a fan of CC?
Yeah, I didn't get into The Sims until like only The Sims 4. I've only ever played that version of the game. I wasn't the Sims 1, Sims 2, Sims 3, like super fan.
Okay, no offense, you weren't alive.
I know. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
But even then, I didn't get into those because I know you can still play them.
Yep.
But I found Sims 4, I think, through one of my friends who got it. And I started playing on the mobile app on my phone because I didn't have a PC at the time.
Yeah.
This was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
And then I got a PC or like a stupid laptop. It was horrible. It was crappy. It took me 30 minutes to load into the game because the loading screen was just like loading and loading and loading. And when I finally got in, I was like, wait a minute. I can download custom content that is free that I don't have to pay for. And that made it worse. My computer took even longer to load. I took up all of my storage, but I've played with CC since I've gotten the game.
Okay.
And I honestly love it. I can't imagine not having custom content in the game, specifically mods. That's what I use the most. Like MC Command Center, Slice of Life, all of the Kawaii Stacy mods, which I know a lot of them are broken now, but they were really good. Like Better Schools, even Life's Tragedies, stuff like that, just make a huge difference gameplay wise. Because I feel a lot of simmers can agree The Sims is lacking in gameplay. It's lacking in storytelling. And I think mods are the way to fix that, or at least to improve it.
Okay.
So I can't imagine a game without custom content. And that's why I made my name Alpha Max's Simmer. I was like, what's a smart name? What can I do? Because everyone's like, Sims by this, Sims builder. I'm like, I'm not that. I'm everything in The Sims. I like doing everything. But the one thing I do like is both versions of CC.
Yeah. I don't like Alpha. I try my hardest, but I'm a Max's Match girl. Yeah. Through and through. It just because like in Rose
matches.
Yeah. It like in Rose Chronicles, it would look weird. Yeah. Like in my opinion. Like I the one character I have it on there, his hair is broken all the time. So I'll just like fix it in Photoshop. But like I don't know. I just like to know what I'm getting with Max's Match. Alpha is wild.
Yeah, Alpha, there's a lot that can go wrong. Like I have more Maxes in my game, but I do appreciate the realism of Alpha. Yes. Like I'll use Alpha overlays to make the Sims look more realistic, but I'll use Max's hair because it fits better.
Yes.
Because a lot of the problem stems from Alpha hair because of the fine like lines of the hair strokes you can see. It doesn't mesh well when you're playing in game, which I have found through trial and error. So I tend to mix and match the two.
Okay. I like that answer. I also know you said you like Cass and your builder. Which one do you like better? Because everyone has a favorite.
Ooh. I think I'd have to say build. I do enjoy Cass a little bit more, but I build more. That's what I do most of the time. I'm not the best builder by any means, but I do enjoy it. I enjoy decorating things, interior design. I hate roofs. I hate exteriors. Not my forte. I mess it up every time.
I was gonna say, I've been playing this game for like 15 years now. I still can't do roofs. I can't even say it half the time, let alone it's literally my taboo word is roofs. But
I can't do roofs.
Nope. Honestly, at this point, it's boxes of roofs. And the more boxes you have, the more roofs you have.
Or you just stick to the like cookie cutter generic, like this is a box, there's another box attached to it, and that's your house.
Oh, I'm always team. I'm cookie cutter when it comes to houses. I've definitely got more creative with time. Now I know you do a lot of Twitch stuff, which scares the bejesus out of me. I have no idea how you would even attempt to do that. What tips and tricks would you give anybody who wants to start
Twitch?
Yeah, start Twitch.
I think the best thing to do is build up a little bit of confidence. Like I know my biggest issue with starting with Twitch was I'm not comfortable with how my voice sounds online. I'm not comfortable with how I look online because a lot of the time the camera's flipped. But at some point you need to stop caring. You need to be like, okay, people are going to get me how I am. And I need to stop worrying if everybody likes me, if everybody is okay with this. You need to stay true to yourself. And I think that's why I've been able to grow as much as I have, is I've stayed true to who I am. I'm not trying to get followers. I'm not trying to grow into this huge, big simmer that everybody knows. I'm just trying to have fun, make some friends, and grow a tight-knit community, honestly. And I think that's what's allowed me to stick to those numbers that are consistent. Because I know a lot of people will get, like, there's nothing wrong with it. A lot of people will get famous from the get-go and shoot up.
Yeah.
But then they inevitably crash and start to crumble down. They wonder what happened.
Oh, yeah.
You need to just stick. Obviously, you can change because that's what happens. People change, but you can't ever do something that's not in your character, that doesn't support your morals, because that's obviously going to reflect in your streams and people are going to notice that. And I've had people that I still see from the very beginning when before I hit affiliate, actually, I had a couple people who followed me and they still talk to me every day on stream to this day. And I really do appreciate them with my whole heart, because they've seen me change and grow and they still support me.
No. And again, that's awesome. You have your, my early supporters. I still talk to them all the time. They're always like, you got a kid, you're getting bigger. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I guess I would just need, I totally got you. When I first started doing this, I was going to have a whole Stassi, persona. I was going to be completely different. And then I'm like, I can't do that because I'm not a great actress.
And it's draining.
It's draining. 100% it's draining. People are like, are you always this crazy every day? The answer is yes. This is just me every day. God love my fiance. He tolerates this stuff all the time. I will literally sit there and be like, okay, so hypothetical. Would you like to go the rest of your life with only eating food with forks and knives, or never using another fork and knife again? And he'll just say, where did you come up with that? I'm like, just came to me. Yep. Or if a hippo farts, does its tail move?
And he's like, why are you thinking about that?
The thing is, I've never lost my creativity. Something I really like about Ted Lasso is never stop being curious. And that's just how I live my life. Never stop being curious. Now, I got a couple more questions for you that are not Sims related. These are Canadian related. Now I have to ask you this because you're also from my hometown, which is 2 girls in the same day from my hometown, which makes me feel so close to home.
Oh yeah.
What's better, Masonville or White Oaks?
Masonville.
Obviously. Disney Store was there. There's a Hot Topic there.
It's gone now though.
I know it's gone. I was there when it opened because I used to work at the Michaels across the street. I used to go there all the time because that's where my bus was there. I hate White Oaks. White Oaks is so junky.
When I think about White Oaks, I cannot name half of the stores in there. I just can't. I don't know.
They're
it's not as big.
No, it's not. I would say they're very London stores. And if you're from London, you know exactly what that means.
And actually, surprisingly, a lot of people outside of even Ontario will come to Masonville specifically because they've heard of it.
Oh, I go to Masonville every time I'm in London. I don't give a shit. There's Conestoga.
It's
here.
The Eaton Center.
Oh, I love the Eaton Center.
Kind of like that, how people go there because they've heard of it. You don't know all of these smaller malls and stuff like that. You know of the big ones. Yeah.
I would say Masonville's very, very big, especially because there's nothing in Sarnia that you could go to. There's nothing in Stratford, Mount Bridges, Strathroy. It's really just London. And I would say Masonville does have the better bay. And I have a hard time associating a mall that has a Walmart in it as a mall. That's that's a big small town thing. Yeah. Have you ever gone to a London Knights game?
Yes. Oh, okay. I used to go constantly as a kid.
Right. Okay. So the person I just talked to, so she's from Kitchener. So she gone to Kitchener Ranger games. And I'm like, listen, doesn't hold a candle to the London Knights games because it's basically you're paying for an NHL game because that's the level of competitive that you get for $20. I'm actually going to a Knights game in a couple weeks because my mom, that's her thing. She loves London Knights. And I was supposed to go take this before Christmas, but COVID had shut. I literally got the game right before Omicron came through. Omicron became a thing on the Friday. We were supposed to see him on the Saturday. So I'm taking her on the 8th to see it. So I'm very excited. I have not gone to a London Knights game in 2 years.
I wish when you said that I could have whipped out my London Knights one because I have one. I could have whipped it out and just here we go. Major fan.
Oh my God. Yes. It's a London thing. It truly is because other people will be we don't care. It's the OHL. But no.
Well, there's so many events at Budweiser.
Oh my God.
So many, even the London Lightning. They had, what are those people that play basketball, but they're not actually.
Oh, the Globetrotters.
Thank you. Yeah, them.
Yeah, I mean,
they're really cool.
You've had Sir Elton John go there. You've had Selena Gomez. The Junos have been there.
Yeah.
I always love it because before it was Bud and then the JLC, it was the Ice House. And do you know where the Ice House used to be?
No clue.
Do you know where Costco South is?
Yeah.
And you know where the McDonald's is?
Kind of.
In that building was the Ice House. And first off, that's, you're a Londoner if you refer to Costco as Costco South and Costco North. Like, I don't care. Like, everybody. I'll be like, what Costco you go to? Like,
Costco's great.
I love Costco. They don't do samples though anymore.
That broke me. How
am I supposed to eat my free lunch while I'm there? And they're like, come on, Stas, like, don't pig on samples. Listen, when you're an adult, when you go to Costco, it's $400. At least I can get at least $30 worth of free samples while I'm there. Softens the blow of spending $400 on things I don't need.
Yes. And as a kid, literally the best part about going grocery shopping with your parents was when they would take you to Costco and you would run up to the sample thing and you would get like pizza pockets from their little oven thing or pierogies. Oh, those were my favorite. Or even like sometimes they had little ice cream sample things. Mm-hmm. Like, this is making me really sad talking about it because they don't have it anymore.
Right. Oh, I just want a free sample, especially at Costco when they used to like give out like samples of bread. I'm always a sample. Anything bread, I'll just eat it.
I love bread
because it's a sample. There's no calorie. There's no calories in samples. It's just a sample.
It tastes better when it's free.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's literally. I'm a girl that will go to Marble Slab and be like, I need to try every flavor. Okay, I'm full. No, just kidding. I do.
Like, I got a little sample. I'm good.
Oh, I'm always team. I have to sample everything if I can because it's like I want to know because like as a chef, I like to what is called to win dinner. So what that means is when you go out to a restaurant, I want to make sure I have the best dinner that everyone has ordered. So everyone's like, this is kind of like, I won dinner. This is like the best dinner. I usually do, but when you can't sample in the restaurant, I'm like, damn it.
Yeah.
And the last couple of times I've not been winning dinner, and I'm like, I need to do
it like
better.
Hurts your soul. You're right? Like, come on.
I won dinner last night. We had Panzerotti's last night. So I won dinner last night, but I'm like, like I also won dinner last week too. Cause like the chicken sandwich, right? So good.
Yeah. Going back though, I need to know, what is your order from Marble Slab? Cause I'm very curious because I have the weirdest order ever. It's so simple, but everyone looks at me and they're like, I never thought about getting that.
So is this going to determine our friendship for the rest of our lives?
Maybe.
Okay. I like this. After that, I got to hear your Timmy's order if you have one. I would say sweet cream, ice cream with Reese's. I'm a big chocolate peanut butter girl. I love chocolate peanut butter. No, I can't do chocolate ice cream with chocolate peanut butter pieces. That's too much. I need a little cream to sort it out. I would say that and brownie pieces and maybe peanuts, depending on how I feel. That's usually my order. If I'm feeling adventurous, though, I would probably get like a fruit one, like a strawberry something.
Oh, strawberry is good.
Yes. Okay. What's yours? I got to hear this.
Okay. I ordered it every single time. Even if I try samples of other things, I'm like, this is good. Nope. Stick to the same thing every time.
Okay.
Super simple.
Yep.
I get cotton candy ice cream.
Okay.
With 3 cookie dough. Always 3. That's it.
That would be very sweet.
It is so good. It is the best thing you will ever have. It is amazing.
Now, the next time I get a coupon, because let's be honest, I'm a cheap bitch. Marble Slab's very expensive.
Oh, I'm a couponer too. Don't worry.
I will have to try that because I have not had cotton candy ice cream since I was like 5.
Oh, it's so good. I don't know what it is.
But I always love it. But I always like, I'm like close to 30. Can I like actively order that without a child around, without being like judged?
Oh, you're fine. I get it every time.
Right? Okay, I'm gonna have to do that because I love sweet things.
I went last week. My friend took me out because I did well on a test and she was helping me study for it. She's like, if you get over this % or whatever, I will buy you ice cream. And I'm like, that's my motivation. I got it. I'm good. I'm an ice cream fan. I love it with all my heart. I was like, I got this. So I did it. We went out for ice cream at lunch. Yeah. And the person getting my ice cream, I told them my order and they're like, I never thought about getting that. I'm like, it's great. You should try it. And they're like, I will next time. And I was like, it has to be 3 cookie dough though. Can't be 2. That's too little. Can't be 4. That's too much.
You need 3.
3 is perfect.
I will take that. Okay. What's your Tim Hortons order?
I don't eat out a lot.
Okay.
Which may be a little controversial because I know a lot of people do.
No, I mean,
I prefer home cooked meals and I prefer saving money.
Yes.
But when I do go out to get something from Timmy's, it's usually when I'm in a rush.
Yeah.
After I've done like an activity half the time, like I used to do swimming in high school a lot. So I would go after practice to get like a muffin. I'm a sucker for chocolate chip muffins from Tim Hortons.
I just like the sugar on top.
I love them. They took that off.
Excuse me, good madam. Did you just
so mad. They took it off. There's no coarse sugar on top of them. And I am so mad about it.
I'll be writing a very strong letter to Mr.
Please do.
To Mr. Burke, because Burger King owns Tim Hortons, right? A very strong letter to them being like, you've ruined Christmas. How dare you remove? No, that's funny.
It's like that cherry on top of the sundae. They can't just take it off.
No, if you've had it your entire life. Now, the only thing I really like at Tim Hortons, because I'm not a big Timmy's person. Like, I don't have coffee, which is surprising to a lot of people, especially when you get older in life. They're like, how do you survive? I'm a everything bagel girl with a half hot chocolate, half French vanilla.
Ooh, that sounds good.
And
I do like their bagels.
I love their bagels and Smile cookies. I will fucking run away. Oh, sorry, run to. I will run away too.
You're like, oh shoot, they have cookies, time to go.
Yes,
I'm gone.
And that's the only time. No, I love Smile cookies. For anybody who's not Canadian and doesn't know what a Smile cookie is, they come into Tim Hortons for like 1 week a year, usually the top week of September, and they have these smiles on it. And why they're so good, they're not the same chocolate chip cookie as their normal chocolate chip cookie. It is a different cookie, and it has the fondant icing that makes us smile. And usually what you'll see on Canadian Twitter is bad Smile cookies, because they can't be all good. Like I worked at Tim Hortons when Smile cookies was a thing. My first year as a baker there, I was there with Smile cookies. That was actually the first week I started with Smile cookies. And I sat for hours doing it. And what they give you is a squirt bottle, not a piping bag, a squirt bottle to do it. So no wonder why all these cookies are frowning. I'd be frowning. I was frowning too after like the two.
Or their eyes are like this big and the little smile is just a little line.
Yes. Or they put the paper on this and you flip it off and the smile is on the wax paper and you're like,
it's the same with donuts. If you ever get like one with glaze or a sprinkle or anything, it is stuck to that bag. And I hate to say it, but you just got to rip the bag open and eat it off.
Yep. I've 100%. I ask for boxes now. Those fancy donut boxes. Because if you have like one of those specialty $3 donuts, you can get a box. So I'll be like, I just want that in a box, please. They're like, it will, and like the donut doesn't go in that box. I'm like, it can though.
But there's something about the experience. Of having it stuck to the bag that's very nostalgic for us as Canadians.
Yes.
Which I hate to say because it sucks.
I agree.
There's nothing more disappointing than opening the bag and finding your entire donut separated from the icing.
I agree. Especially when you have a rainbow sprinkles. Oh. Especially when it has the London Night colors, because they always do. Anytime there's a London Knights game, they will put the sprinkles on.
It hurts my soul.
Now, speaking of nostalgia, are you going to watch Turning Red?
Probably not, honestly.
Oh my God. I
haven't watched most of the newest Disney movies. I'm a sucker for like the old school Disney movies. And sometimes I'll watch the remakes too, just to like see and compare. And if they did it justice, honestly. But the Turning Red one, I don't know. I might watch it. Yeah. Controversial. I tried watching Enchanto, couldn't get through it.
I like the music. That was kind of it within Encanto. I just really excited to see Turning Red because I just have like this big excitement anytime I see Canada on screen, especially like Toronto. And because like, come on, like if you're like anywhere in Ontario, like they literally, if you're in Toronto, they literally call themselves the center of the universe because like if there literally are in Canada, but like, you know, the CN Tower from anywhere. Like they have the Rogers Center there. They have Tim Horton. They have Timbit. They're eating Timbits. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like,
okay, I'm tempted now.
Yeah.
Now that I've heard that, because I didn't know that it was based in Canada.
Yeah.
If you're telling me all this, I had no clue.
Yeah. It's literally it's about a girl who, lives in Chinatown and in Toronto, and she suffers from high anxiety. So every time she has an anxiety attack, she turns into this giant big red panda. Yep. And I was just like, I like this. This is a coming age story and talking about the struggles of being in a community that's maybe like I would say Toronto has the biggest one of that.
Like a minority, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So you have you have Chinatown, you have Koreatown, you have Greek and the Danforth, right? So I love to see like what it's like to what it's like to be there. And they have all Canadian actors playing, like Sandra Oh is playing the mom and stuff like that. But again, as soon as I saw that she was eating Tim Hortons digital Timbits, I was just like, this is like, but that's your childhood being in Canada. mom will be like, if you're a good kid at the grocery store, we'll stop at Tim Hortons and get you Timbits. And no matter what the hell you do with your life, you will behave to get a stale Timbit. Like, I feel like that's definitely a Canadian staple. So I've been asking like all my Canadian simmers, I'm like, are you going to watch this? Because it's like, it's also the first woman to direct a Pixar movie.
That's nice.
I like that. I'm a huge movie buff.
That's really good.
That's why I'm like, I'm going to watch it next weekend when my girls are down. We're going to have this like Canada moment. We're all going to like, wear plaid and like have our Timmies and like, like
Timbits in hand.
Timbits in hand, have a double, which I don't drink that, but like everyone else.
But you will for the movie.
I will for the movie. And obviously pizza. I think there's like iconic pizzas down there. And they have like the Scotia stuff as well. Like the big Scotia movie theater is apparently in the background as well. Mm-hmm. So whoever made it did a really good job, like representing Toronto.
That's good. I like how the Disney movies nowadays are more so focusing on the different cultures instead of just the dominant, like cookie cutter, white
princess
characters. Yeah, yes. Princess characters. Like, I like how they're offering different cultures and different viewpoints and different like sexualities, different like mental health things. And I did like how they're branching out from what they're only really used to doing.
Which I was shocked when I found out with Encanto, the really strong sister, her stuff sold out the first. And I'm like, yes,
that's great.
I love that because it shows that like the princess one that's usually a staple was always great, but like that's not realistic.
Exactly.
But anyways, speaking of not realistic, it's been absolutely realistic to talk to you today. I was going to say, I was trying to do a good segue to that. And I realized what I had said would not lead a good segue. I want to say it's an absolute pleasure. I feel like, again, I'm your Sims guru, and by Sims guru, your life guru, especially because like, I'm looking back and having like Vietnam flashbacks of when I was like your age. And I'm like, what can I tell her so she doesn't make the same mistakes I did? But Abby, it's been an absolute pleasure getting to sit and talk to you today. Just talking about Canada and, talking about, we're in two different age groups, but we can literally sit and talk about the same stuff I talk to my parents about and they talk to their friends about. And it's just all that stuff that like, it's important to talk about as well. Like Sims can be a great escape and I use it as my escape.
Yeah.
But sometimes you do have to have the hard conversations and talk about things that need to happen and things that need to change. It's also nice to see that you're actually very nice and you're not all like, bro,
like Sims content followers. Whoa.
Oh my God. Yeah. Cause like
honestly, very fitting.
Right. Because like I people think all the time that I'm affiliated with actual Sims.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not an EA game changer. I'm a 28-year-old marketing person that makes fart jokes. And sometimes
if you were though, EA would probably be a little better. Honestly.
Thank you. They'd fire me because they'd be like, Stas, you have to say this. I'd be like, no. At work, I'll be sent into a room to tell people their idea is shit. And like, they'll be like, it's okay. She's going to say it right. Like, we don't have to worry what Stassi's thinking. She'll let us know. Like, there's no ever like,
very honest.
Yeah. They're like, I wonder what she's thinking right now. I'll be like, probably.
I'll tell you.
Yeah. So like, I'll be like, they'll be like, oh my gosh, she's like so concentrating. Like she's so thinking. And I'm like, so if I grab snow off the ground that's fresh and I put like syrup in there, is that like an authentic snow cone? Is like that?
Oh, that's a Canadian thing, right?
That's a Canadian, or licking everything to get the snow off it. Yeah. I did that. I also locked lips with Nick, and our braces got caught. That's an actual thing. That was really awkward. And I was
honestly though, the whole interview has been very fitting for my character because half the time when I talk about Sim stuff, I don't talk about Sim stuff. I just go on tangents. I forget what I'm talking about.
Sims is great, but like, how many times say, what's your favorite pack? What's your favorite expansion?
There's only so much you can say. And we've been over this. Everyone knows on our Instagrams because we do those little stories of, what would you rather? What would you choose? What type of simmer you are? Where I feel these interviews are good because then you get to know the person behind the account. You get to have that deeper connection. You get to know what they like, what they dislike outside of Sims, which makes them the Sim player that they are.
Oh my gosh, now you need your own simmers spelling, because that actually is a really good capping ending where usually I'm just like, oh no, have a good day, guys.
Yeah.
No, I will say that it's been an absolute pleasure getting to know you. Abby, why don't you tell everybody where we can find your work?
On Instagram, Alpha Maxis Simmer, space after Alpha, space after Maxis. On Twitch, I'm actually Abby3, ABBY, no other spelling. Super simple. And that's usually where I am, just those two. I like to keep it simple. I don't have anything else going on, just Instagram and Twitch at the moment.
Best places to be. Stay off everything else. Don't go on Twitter. Dumpster fire. Toxic. Oh, it's so toxic.
Anyways, I'm staying away.
Anyways, Abby, it's been an absolute pleasure. I'm going to let you go on the rest of your day because it's the time change. I'm like, how is it almost 1:00? Like, oh my God. Like, how is this? And I'm like, wait, because my other clock says it's 11:42. So I'm like, I haven't gone around and changed my clocks yet. Because it's literally like every mom will call you and be like, the clocks are changing.
Yep.
Change your clocks. And I didn't. My mom is texting me twice. She's like, did you change your clocks? And I can't answer. I'll be like, or she knows I do these, right? Like my mom has a small concept of like what I do. And she'll be like, are you doing one of those like things again? And that's like
one of those things.
Things is a simmer spotlight. And the Rose Chronicles is a chapter. She knows it's a chapter. She'll be like, she's like, is that Oliver boy with Alexa yet? And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe you should read it. And she's like, let me know when they're there and I'll read it. It's just that cute chapter. I'm like, thanks, Mom.
That's cute.
I know. I always bash her in these things. She listens. She's
hi,
like,
Mom.
Hi, my mom. She's like, she's like, I turned left, Jennifer. Oh my God. As I say, actually what she would say.
Yeah, maybe we should stop. Maybe we should stop talking about Mom. She's going to be like, God, you guys are just, what's going on? I know. She's like, one day, she's like, if you actually make it big, like, I want to like be on one of these. And she's just sit and make fun of me the entire time. Like, I'd love to see that roasting Stassi.
Roasting, yeah. She'd be like, why do you call yourself that? You have such a beautiful name.
She'd be like, I would know. I chose it.
She says it. She's like, why did you pick that? And I'm like, because I could. Anyways, I feel like we could continue having a rant. And
of course,
my fiance is like, food?
Yeah.
He's been upstairs so
he's listening. He's like, when's it going to end? Come on.
Sometimes I'll think he's like, I think she's done. And then she's not. But anyways, Abby, it's been an absolute pleasure. Have a great rest of your day. And I definitely can't wait to chat with you in the future.
Oh yeah, we will. Any advice I need, I know I can talk to you.
100%. But anyways, it's like I said, it has been an absolute pleasure. Have a great rest of your day. Okay.
You too. Bye now.
Bye.